The President of the United States failed to mention anything about the passing of John Sidney McCain. And we have more tape. This was moments ago.
Do you believe John McCain is a hero?
Guys, let's go. Keep moving.
Thank you. Nothing at all about John McCain.
We're finished. Keep moving. Let's go. We're finished.
Thank you very much.
Nothing. Nothing. CNN White House correspondent Abby Phillip is with me now. I don't have words. And obviously the president doesn't either.
Apparently, Brooke, for the third time, just today alone, President Trump has declined three separate times, declined to answer questions from reporters about John McCain. He declined to give any statement at all. So far, Brooke, it's really important to note that President Trump has actually not said anything positive about McCain himself. He offered sympathy to McCain's family in that tweet, a two-sentence tweet sent over the weekend from his Twitter account, but no words of praise about McCain himself, no words about his decades of service in the United States Senate, about his service to the country in the military. The president has, as you pointed out, remained silent. Now, it's not clear why that is, but except for the fact that President Trump has held on to what appears to be a long-standing grudge against McCain that dates back many years, including at the campaign when he claimed that McCain wasn't a war hero because he was captured during the Vietnam War. But given the opportunity to put that aside, the president still hasn't. The White House hasn't answered questions about why the flags here behind me at the White House remain at full staff, despite what we know to be a letter sent from Republicans and Democrats in Congress asking for the flags to be lowered until McCain is laid to rest. That request hasn't been answered. No requests about the explanation have been answered from White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders or any others in this building behind me. Meanwhile, we're waiting to see what this White House will do when it comes to Senator McCain's funeral arrangements. So far, we're hearing from our sources that First Lady Melania Trump is not expected to attend. She did attend on the president's behalf when Barbara Bush died earlier this year, but so far no plans on her part to attend. And it's not clear how the White House is planning on dealing with this. This is clearly a moment when the country is mourning someone who is widely regarded to be an American hero, and the president refuses to say one positive word, Brooke.
Abby, thank you. Let's stay on this because this is important to talk about. With me now, CNN special correspondent Jamie Gangel and CNN politics editor-at-large Chris Cillizza. And to the both of you, just I think to watch the president, I saw the flag pictures this morning from the White House, but to watch the president with President Kenyatta of Kenya twice, not saying anything about this hero, this lion of a man. It's despicable. It's despicable. Chris, Jamie?
It's clear that John McCain gets under Donald Trump's skin. But this is going to be a very long week for Donald Trump. He is going to hear us talk about John McCain's legacy, his heroism. It's unimaginable that at this point, as a Republican lawmaker said to me yesterday, I'm not surprised, but couldn't he say something? And it is something, and he just won't. The other thing that I am sure he is stewing about is that two other presidents are invited to the funeral, not just invited, but giving eulogies, right? Former President Bush, former President Obama, the two people who beat John McCain to get to the White House have been asked to give eulogies, and Donald Trump not only not going, he was not invited. John McCain made it very clear he didn't want him there. And so, this is Donald Trump's response.
Chris?
to quote our colleague Chris Cuomo, this is a classic example of putting the me before the we. Donald Trump has shown on a number of occasions, and Jamie's right, it's sort of a, I'm not surprised, and yet he's shown on a number of occasions he does not view the presidency as a perch by which to show moral leadership in any meaningful way, by which to take the high road. He takes the low road on many occasions. This is just one of them. That's a change and a break from the presidents in the past. The people who have held that office before, broadly speaking, they didn't do this 100% of the time. They weren't always successful in it, but they viewed themselves as an exemplar of what America could be, what we should be. Donald Trump doesn't do that. The both sidism in Charlottesville, the picking the fights with the NFL, the playing at racism and racialized language for his own political benefit. The inability to get beyond a grudge. And I'll note, beyond a grudge, that Donald Trump is the one who made the vast majority of the barbs here. Mm-hmm. John McCain largely held off, not wanting to make this about John McCain versus Donald Trump. He responded, broadly speaking, say, I think he discredits people who have served when he talks like that. This is Donald Trump making it about Donald Trump, which again isn't surprising because that's what he does, and yet it is shocking in its way.